think there's a woodpecker trying to get into our house. Listen. Let's see if it hasn't already gone in. I see there's a little hole over there. It is. That's a woodpecker.
Telling the story of how she's had enough. She's got her hands wrapped firmly around his waist, looking over her shoulder at me with those eyes that say, I wanna.
Welcome to this week's video, folks, where we are still busy with the container, the barracks, where we're going to start spreading gravel now. The gravel arrived yesterday. Daniela and I started very late at night. Well, probably not very late. We started at like 4 o'clock the afternoon, which looks like it's really late at night, so it was dark. So we carried on as long as we could. Started snowing, and then we covered up all the gravel with tarps. So the gravel all covered, tucked in for the night. This is what happens when you don't cover gravel, as you see. I have my white shovel 2021. As you can see, well, as you can't see, we can't really see where we stopped spreading gravel because it snowed over it. Joy, fun times. Let's check out this gravel's doing under here. It certainly is less frozen than. Yeah, we can work with this.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Let's remove our cover. How your fingies doing?
Yeah, they're cold. So this is what we do in between shoveling,
Yeah.
is we try and not lose our fingers. I know everyone in Sweden's like, it's not cold, it's only -8. But yeah,
It's cold.
yeah, it's cold. It's cold to
It's cold enough to get frostbite.
touch
Be careful.
the shovels.
It goes through 2 layers, you know. One layer and then there's my other layer. It's just
Any tips for gloves? These are snow rated gloves, according to the label. I was just admiring this beautiful 1:45 sunset that we're seeing here. Really something stunning. But I also realized our weather station needs a little bit of a clean. And that's exactly why I didn't put it up on the roof, because it seems I'll have to get to it quite a bit. How beautiful is this nature? Hey folks, so one of the little projects that I had here is to heat up this water pipe. Now I couldn't find an acceptable thermometer, so what I did is I built this multi-sensor out of the ESP, I think 8266 chip, and I added a motion sensor, and up here I added a temperature humidity sensor. Now what will happen is that will send the temperature information to my Home Assistant server. It will then send a message to that Sonos switch over there, which is flashed with Tasmoda, and also on my Home Assistant server, and it will tell it to switch on this pipe heater. Yeah, like it.
Rip off all your clothes, push you down and just get wild. And
folks. So today I gave myself a day off. We've been working really hard outside, digging, snow, cold, frozen hands, frozen toes. It's been hectic. So I decided to give myself an in day. So I'm working inside today. So I decided to make some sourdough bread as well as some cream cheese from scratch. So yeah, I think, and also, admin days, they're also necessary. So if you have a look, see here, I've got my baking sheet ready. And over here, I've got everything ready for my cream cheese. So basically what you need to make homemade cream cheese is you'll get a really good sort of thickish yogurt. And yes, you would need a cheesecloth. So what I do is I take a bowl and I put a sieve in there. And I put my cheesecloth in this guy. And then basically all you need to do from there is you let it set. So let's get to that. So what we're going to do to make this cream cheese is, well, it's pretty simple. I mean, you could also do this from scratch. I mean, it's easy enough to do that as well. But I find it's just easier for me to go buy good yogurt. And it's also cheaper than buying cream cheese in the store. So what I do is I fill this nicely in my cheesecloth and make sure that the edges are open and clear. So I'll take this yogurt and I'll fill my cloth. So the reason you do this is because the yogurt has whey in it, and you basically want to separate the whey from the yogurt, from the cream, essentially. So that makes it a denser sort of cream cheese. So this yogurt is a little bit thicker, so it really doesn't have as much liquid in it because it's thicker. So it's actually been a really nice choice to use this because you're going to get a really thick, creamy cream cheese. So what we'll do is we will take the cheesecloth over the sieve and just close it over. So you don't need to do anything with it at this stage. You will just close it and set it nicely. Just give it a little bit of a press down, encourage a little bit of drainage. You cover it nicely like that. Press down into the sieve, and now you will pop it in the fridge and forget about it at least for the next 24 hours, where it will drain, all the whey will drain down into this bowl, and then we'll be ready to take the cheese out of the cloth and we'll put it into a clean cloth in a container. But that is tomorrow's job. So what we're going to make now is the sourdough bread. So what you'll need for the sourdough bread is some all-purpose flour. I think this is all-purpose flour. All-purpose. It says with baking powder, but anyway, don't know where to get just normal all-purpose. So we're trying that one out. Then 1 teaspoon salt. And 1 teaspoon baking soda. So if you have a look here, these are all the dry ingredients. So that's 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's all we've put in here for now. This is a little bit of a cheat sheet sort of sourdough. I'm trying it out for the first time, so let's see how it goes. So what you would do now is you would whisk it together just to incorporate all those ingredients into the flour. So you whisk it together, and then what you will do is you will make a well in the middle, which is where you need to pour 1.5 cups of yogurt, fuel milk, buttermilk, pretty much anything that has this type of consistency. So this is what I intend to pour into mine to incorporate it. Right, so what we're going to do you're going to pour this into the center. So just a side note, okay, we're going to incorporate this with our hands, right? As a side note, if you wanted to put anything in the bread itself, like raisins, or, olives, or whatever be the case, you would put that in with the flour and mix it into the flour. That's something you would rather do there, because else what happens is it just all sort of falls to the bottom of whatever you're making. The liquid makes it sink. So you'd rather coat that in, flour rather first. Right. So now this is all incorporated. You see, you don't want to over mix it. You just want to make sure that it is all in together. And you will make your ball. Okay, you want to make sure you get all the flour in here. And you almost want to try and make a ball out of what's here. Okay, folks, so what you'll do now is you will preheat your oven to 230 degrees Celsius or 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And you will sprinkle some flour on your table. Not too much, because you don't want to be a bit overbearing on your dough. So just enough so it doesn't really stick. As well as a little bit on your baking tray as well. Just sprinkle it over where the dough will be itself. This will help for sticking, and it will also set it quite nicely. Right. Then what you will need to do, suggestion, coat your hands in some flour as well. It really does help keep the dough off your hands. And what we want to do is roll the dough. So we want to make the dough round, but we're not going to mix or knead or anything like that. We just want to roll the dough and make it as round as we possibly can without overworking the dough itself. Okay, you want it to look a little bit rustic as well. So now that our dough is a round sort of ball, we are going to put this on our baking tray. So now what you will do is, once it is on the baking tray, you will flatten it a little bit. Then what you need to do is you need to take a knife and you need to score it. So we're going to go a little bit through here, and so I want to sort of get it in to the top of the bread and score it a little bit through here as well. Then what you want to do is it's a tradition, they poke it, right? Now, before you pop it in the oven, take a little bit of your leftover yogurt or even milk. Now, I was an idiot. I forgot to buy a brush for brushing things. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my hands and just, love my bread a little. Hopefully by the next time I do this, I will have a pastry brush, because I completely forgot to buy myself a pastry brush. Something I use so often. But I had about 10 in South Africa. And then I left them all when we came here. Anyway, so it's all ready. So let's hold thumbs. Let's pop this guy in the oven and see how it turns out. And voila, folks, sourdough bread. Have a listen. So that is how you know that the bread is ready, when it has a bit of a hollow sound to it. So let's taste it. Hopefully it's nice. Right, folks, let's have a look and see how the bread came out. Oh, looking perfect. And there we go. Sourdough bread. Perfectly cooked through. Nummy nummy. Now to have it with some delicious soup. Hey folks, so we are ready to transfer the cream cheese, which has been in our container. If you look under here, there's a ton of whey. We're ready to transfer that into this. Keep your whey, because the whey is very helpful for if you make a bread or something. It almost replaces buttermilk. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this cheese and put it into a new cloth in a container. I use just like an old butter container. I'm going to put it in this container in the new cloth because this one is a little bit wet and you sort of want a dry cloth. So I'm going to transfer that into here and I'll catch you now. So I've put my cream cheese in here now. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it up nicely, tuck it in, and then you almost want to sort of just press it down just a little bit. Just give it a little bit of weight, press some of the liquid out of it, and you're just going to close it up. And we're going to put it in the fridge like this for roughly another 3 or so days, just to, you know, if you want a slightly thicker, lovely sort of cream cheese, your Philadelphia style cream cheese. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to return its lid. And yeah, in about 3 days, it's ready to eat. Enjoy.
Alright guys, so I just finished taking off the plates at the manskapspoort where it's busy, we're standing at the moment. Let me get you a shot. Yeah, so I'm in the car because it's bloody cold. And those plates that were over, because there's actually 5 units, so those plates that were over them, the top plate, the roof plates, I had to go and take the snow off and like just unscrew them. So we got the heat pump installed yesterday. This is very, very cool. Very happy about that, and it's been working very nice. It's just some of the wiring still needs to be neatened up and sorted out. These guys, they don't do the electrical work apparently. So that's a temporary cable running there, and then we have a heated tray there so that the condensation, well not the condensation, when it goes through an ice melting cycle, then it will drip into that tray, but then it will freeze in the tray. So it's a heated tray, and then the water should run down that pipe and exit to somewhere, but the water will freeze in the pipe, so it's a heated pipe too. Fun times here in the north. Hey guys, so spur of the moment thing, what we did is we decided we need a new fireplace and we took it out. All right, the old one.
It was heavy.
It was crazy heavy. No, but in all fairness, we had a meeting with the Sourdough chimney sweep, and he advised that we change the fireplace because it was a very old fireplace, and he was not sure about the combustible materials and the distance that the fireplace should be from it. Certain fireplaces have got certain rules, different rules and different measurements for how far they can stand from combustible surfaces. So we had to change it. Mm-hmm. So that thing was so heavy. It's full of stone. It broke one of our stairs as we moved it down. It's ridiculous.
And guys, it's just us two, you know, there's no one. It's like there's 2 people here carrying this massive thing. So it's a struggle. It really is.
So what we're busy with now is we're just taking down some measurements. We're going to be making the chimney hole bigger. We also need to take this combustible material, which is plasterboard or gyps board.
All our hard work putting it up.
Yeah, to take it off so that it's just nice bare fireplace. The fire marshals seem to like that a lot. Once that's done, we're going to have to make this hole bigger because that hole is for an old 120mm fireplace, and our new flue down there is a 150mm. I'm sure it will be fine.
Yeah.
Last famous words.
Yeah. The reason we're doing this is so that when we pull the board off, we don't tear off the paint on the other side. It's called forward thinking, thank goodness. Else it's going to look like what happened there with Vaynon's pipe.
It's called lessons learned.
At least we make mistakes and learn from them.
Put them on YouTube so that you don't have to.
Yep. What we are doing now is we are busy making the hole bigger. As you can see, Vaynon's very happy. He has his toolbox that came from home, so he can actually find the right tool for the job.
I'm busy making a statue.
I'm
carving.
I'd like to say Picasso, but that would be no long. And Angie will shoot me.
You know, it's a good thing we're not trying to escape a prison. I don't think you and I would ever be able to get out our own cell.
Yeah, it would take us a while. I think we'll serve our time doing this. While we know this is not everyone's taste, we even wonder if it's ours. But we feel making this a feature wall could be quite interesting. So
we look cool.
Yeah. So exposing the brick is actually nicer than the yucky plaster that's over it. So yeah, I think this will eventually turn out quite nice. So chisel, chisel, 6 o'clock at night, we'll get done.
Righto, so original bricks showing. We think it's very nice and keep some of the heritage of this house. So what we will do next is we're going to install the flue through there. As you see, we put some heat-proof silicone just around there just to keep the pipe neatly in place and seal it properly. And we'll be putting in the ropey stuff and the thingy and the majiggy.
All the good, all the good.
Behold, we have completed the fireplace and it's looking lovely. Yeah, we stuck with that wall. Actually looks quite cool, we think, and so far working really awesome. So now we're a little bit late on the Christmas tree situation, but we eventually got to it. The kids came to pick out a tree and Madison insisted she's going to use a normal saw to saw it off, which is good. We should encourage this. I remember as a young kid I would watch my grandfather saw up massive logs with only a handsaw and not stopping. He was a beast of a man. Anyway, physical labor, very good for the kids. Like the motto in China. No, but it's good. Good morals, good values. Have a look here. Looks like we should have packed an overnight bag.
Telling you, baby, it's good to be. Yeah, it's good to be back. Oh, baby.
So that's it for this week's video, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Buy your daughter that pony as she's been asking for Christmas. We have a lot more content that we've actually recorded already. The beams arrived, so forth. Just don't want to make these videos too long. It becomes a little bit like lengthy to edit as well.
Coming.
Stay tuned for the next one. Anyway, we'll see you next time.
And
Bye bye.
happy Christmas season.